Welcome back, my gardening friends. If you follow my blog, you'll know that recently I've developed quite a large tear in the polytunnel. It's had repairs in the past and I've still got a new cover, but the cover, I believe, it's more of one of the cheaper ones. You know, these green ones aren't much good, guys. The squares fall out, but this one's been here about 10 years. Lots of repairs. Some of that's free silicone, some I've got to buy myself. I even siliconed up that joint, but it didn't help where it's been rubbing on the frame. So what I've done, I've just recently managed to get some of this cardboard. It's quite thick, and first use for it is inside the polytunnel, under the plastic, under the metal framing, to hold it up, keep it flat. Next job is cut a thin strip of this green plastic on the inside, then I'll put a thicker strip on the top. So I've stuck that thin strip through the plastic, tucked it down here. It doesn't matter about where it goes because I'm only siliconing from the actual tear. Let's get that inside. Just even it up through the crack. When we take the board off. I'm going to put a dab of silicone across there and there, away from the tear. That should hold, stop it breaking anymore. I'm just going to line all this up now. This is just a bit of cheap silicone. I believe it was only $2.99 from one of our local stores. I bought some seeds as well, so I'll just set this up before I carry on filming. Right, just wanted to make sure it was right, plus make sure I've got my gloves on. It does get a bit sticky and messy, so I'll put one strip of silicone across the top. Just line it all up. Sits there. So with having the lines, you can actually see where you need to be. Very generous. Hasn't got to be on there for too long now, because hopefully in 2020 next year, so it'll be the winter, the fall before 2021 before I change this tunnel. Having this cardboard underneath, it gives you that scope pushing down. How much silicone we've got. Let's seal that joint up now, so the wind doesn't get underneath it. I'll leave that cardboard in place now overnight, just so that it holds, so it doesn't move. That's nice, and it shouldn't be stuck to the cardboard. Might have an extra feature, guys. So that's that bit done. I'll give you a close-up shortly. So just moving on to that window, if you remember, well, I might knock the camera here, which I did do, squeezing by the brassica cage, but this one wasn't quite tight enough, and I tried to skimp it. So I've got a bit of old Enviromesh. I've made sure it's much bigger, and we'll fire this up. I should have made that bit of a net bigger before, instead of trying to skimp and just, I know I'm bodging it now, but you've got to bodge and codge in a good way. That's why the gloves are used for, because the silicone will come through the Enviromesh. Just don't play with it too much, because you know what happens. And hopefully the calm of today, he says calm, we've still got enough silicone. So like I say, we haven't got to make it last too long, but for £2.99, if I'd left that rip where it was, the whole polytunnel would have gone. And at the end of the day, it ain't a bad tunnel. Now I know I've got a few more little holes here and there. I'll show you once I've finished. If I can find now a finger, I think I'll have to get my thumb out to stop the recording for now. Well, that's a better job, and as you can see, even on this side, and I will put the link to the playlist for the polytunnel repairs from day one, basically. So we've just done a quick repair on that one and on that one. We did bits there. Yeah, it's still on, it's good. These are where the nuts and bolts are on the frame, so those will have to be sorted when I actually cover this properly. There is a few holes in the top, we're not too worried about those. So there at the top you might be able to see the strip of silicone. That will help if it starts tearing again, and then all the way down. In actual fact, that's a nice neat tidy job. And again, this is where the nut holes were. It ain't going to be windy, he says, as he sways on the ladder. I'll best get down. Now, I'm not sure it was beginning of this season or last season. I think it's probably beginning of the season, but I spent £8 on silicone. Now this is like a clear silicone. It stinks like merry hell, and if it stinks, I think it's damn good stuff, and that's a better price than I've paid before. Like I said, it's outdoors. If it doesn't last that long, it doesn't matter, as long as it holds the polytunnel together for another 2 years. So all I've done is slide that cardboard underneath those runners. A lot better, that is. That's one to think about in the future if I have any issues again. So that's another one of the jobs done for July. Probably not a job that I wanted to do, but if you don't do it, we could end up in a hell of a mess. We may still do, but for the sake of £1.99 or £2.99, what was this? Can't remember. Cheap enough anyway. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.